Hey there, Dennis of Schwermetallisch here. I had an interview with Stephen Waddle of the band Oath, and we had a lot of fun. There were moments when I happened to perfectly describe his music. And just imagine Duran Duran being a new wave of British heavy metal band, and you get the idea of how Mean Streets of Oath is sounding. So just watch the video, subscribe, like, comment, hit me up, and have fun. Of course, stay safe and rock. Metallisch, talking to Stephen Waddle of the band Oath, and
Hello.
I'm struggling with the TH, so I hope it's not the greatest pain to hear that, but someday I will get it right. So I just had the pleasure to review your current output, Computer Warrior, and it's great.
Good. Glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm glad I enjoyed it too.
You have to say that because I'm here.
No, I don't have to say that. If I don't enjoy the music of my interview partners, I'm not saying I like it. I'm just asking stuff.
There you go. Diplomatic. Very good.
Yeah, I'm interviewing many death and black metal bands at the moment, and that's just not my cup of tea. So
Yeah. Fair enough.
I'm more into the melodic stuff, and yeah, of course, your music is very melodic, and
Yeah.
the influence of Trevor Church is heard. So yeah, I'm a fan of Horn, so
Me too.
of course I
Yep.
was intrigued to hear you two are cooperating on this, and he was drumming. That was right.
He was on drums. He was also well. You can hear the backing vocals, but you can tell his voice a million miles away. So he does a lot of all the backing vocals are Trevor. So I think he did like 3 or 4. There's like harmonized, like Def Leppard style backing vocals on it that he did. So he did an amazing job on those. And he produced it as well, mixed it, mastered it, everything. So yeah, he was heavily involved, which was great. It was good to have him involved. Really, it was when you're like a one-man band. The one thing you don't have is like objectivity. It's very hard to look at something and say, and honestly, is this working? Is this right for the song? But Trevor would chip in now and again and say, "Nah, I think you should maybe just chop this bit out and get rid of this guitar solo. There's too much going on there." So it was good to have that.
It came out very good. So I think I liked your last output, but this one was more like you found your definite sound.
Well, the sound of it is the main difference. I think probably the amazing thing about the record is that, I mean, if you know anything about Oath, you know that it's all recorded very, very DIY. So it's really basic. It's an audio box, an audio interface that was like a Behringer $50 job from Amazon. Other internet companies are available, eBay, whatever. And also a refurbished used laptop that I bought for, I think it was like £150 or whatever it was. Cheap, very cheap, and that's it. And it's up until now, and even now, I'm still kind of just winging it and guessing as I go and learning as I go. So to me, it's amazing that Trevor took something that was so like recorded so like the cheapest you can ever record music was what Computer Warrior was, and he took it and put it through all his expensive, awesome equipment, and he's turned out something that's comparable with, or even better than a lot of albums that are out there now. He just poured some magic pixie dust on it or whatever it was he did, but it sounds great. Yeah, that was the main thing. I think this album sounds more like an album, and the other two maybe sounded a bit more like demos, really, and just in terms of the sound quality. I mean,
Yeah, I mentioned in the review I wrote for Reflections of Darkness that the first time I read about you and your project, your one-man army of metal, was in the German Death Forever magazine,
Yes.
and that dude was a grown man, totally fanboying about your output, and he was like, "Wow, that's we have to see what comes next, but this is totally great, and it's old school, and wow." And it was really yeah, like a love letter from one of those girls that traveled around Britain to follow the Beatles a bit. That was really sweet, and I thought, okay, I have to check that out because he's obviously in love, and yeah, I get it. I didn't. I'm honest. I didn't get it 100% with your last output.
Mhm.
I thought it was great, but not. Ah, I need I need those catchy tunes that I wake up in the morning and it's like, ah, okay, it's there. And sometimes I can't go to sleep because I'm having this song in my mind, and this
Yeah.
song is Mean Streets. That
Yeah.
is really a great song. That's my favorite of Computer Warrior because it's like what if Duran Duran was a new wave of British heavy metal band?
Yeah, dude. Duran Duran are great, man. But I mean, I like. I think I might be going into controversial territory here, but fuck it, let's do it. Can I swear? I just swore. Is that okay?
Yes, of course.
Oh, cool. Um, I think there's a lot of kind of. I'm going to sound like an old guy here, and I am. But like younger dudes, I think in bands now, they're listening to a lot of heavy metal, and sometimes it sounds like they're just listening to heavy metal. I think with me, there's different influences, and like a band like Haunt as well. That Trevor's listening to different stuff as well, and it's not just traditional heavy metal that we're listening to. So there's, yeah, I mean, I'm listening to all like 80s pop was the best pop. Like
Yes.
pop music now is shit. Like, and it's been shit since probably the 90s. But like in the 80s, when pop bands like actually wrote songs and actually played their instruments, like you said, Duran Duran, fucking Aha, Spandau Ballet, great pop bands, and like great hooks. And I'm all about hooks, like you, hooks and choruses and great songs. That's I like extreme stuff too. Don't get me wrong. I love, like, there's black metal bands I love. There's death metal bands I love too. But for me, for when I'm writing, I start with the chorus, just a vocal melody usually in my head, and then I'll work everything else around the chorus. So the riffs come usually after, because to me, that's, like you said, that's what the important thing. That's what you want, is somebody waking up with this earworm of a song, annoying them for the rest of the day. But yeah, I think that's probably where it comes from. Growing up and listening to, like, when I was a kid, my kids were listening to, like, my mum and dad were listening to like Queen, and Duran Duran, Billy Joel, and just all kinds of different poppy kind of stuff. So yeah, that's a big influence. But I like, other kind of, like, I love the Smiths. I listen to like Joy Division, The Cure, Sisters of Mercy, stuff like that. So it's not just metal, and I think that comes into the music. I think you can hear that. I hope you can hear
Yeah,
that.
I think 80s pop is they had the melodies.
Yeah,
There were really great melodies. You said Aha. Um, there was always really melodic and yeah, the guy has a great voice and the melodies were on point. And if I hear pop music and it's good, I know it at that point where I don't miss a drummer or a bass man because it's yeah, it's full circle without all the elements of a rock or metal band. It
yeah.
comes full circle without those elements because it's melodic and it's constructed in a logic way and in a good way that yeah makes you feel good stuff.
A
And
great a great song is a great song, whatever genre it's in. It doesn't really matter. But I think a lot of bands kind of, and particularly metal bands, they're all about the riff, and they think about the riff first. Oh, this great riff, this awesome, brutal, killer riff, and it's like, great, but where's the chorus? Where's the song? I need both ideally. And the Sabbath had amazing riffs, but they had some fucking great choruses and melodies too. So yeah, you kind of have to have both.
Yeah, maybe some people find that boring, but I like the classical song structures of the 70s and 80s. It's
Yeah,
the beginning, the chorus, and the bridges and the highlights. Like okay, now the singer really goes out and screams, and I don't know, he shows the listener what he's made of. So
yeah,
yeah, I can sing like that, but wait another minute and I will rip your head off.
yeah.
And I love that structures.
Key
And
change at the end for dramatic effect. Yeah, all that shit. Totally, man. Yep.
there's a song from Flotsam and Jetsam from the record The Cold, and this is the song of the same name, The Cold, and it's really heavy and really melodic. It's thrash metal with a bit of prog metal, and yeah, Eric AK is a really good vocalist, and this song has all the structures I want and more. They have a song in song structures and different bridges and different guitar solos bridging these parts together, and it's really mad, but really great. I got it for $5 at a shop a few years ago, and yeah, that made me very happy.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's the songwriting, the craft of songwriting is what it's all about. Definitely.
Mean Streets did remind me a bit of Wild Boys from Duran Duran. I don't know exactly why. It was not.
That's a great reference. That's awesome. I think
It
when
was.
I was writing it, I was thinking more kind of along. I think it was more like Thin Lizzy were in my head at the time when I was writing it. I was thinking like a Lizzy song off of Black Rose, maybe that kind of thing. But Duran Duran's a great analogy.
Yeah, it's as I mentioned before. It's like Duran Duran would have been a new wave of British heavy metal band. It was not the song structure. It was not the sound. It was the way it made me feel while listening to it. It was like, okay, that's guys in leather, fist held high, and stuff like that. And I got the video of the song in my mind, and it was like, hey, that's Duran Duran, kinda.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's a great song. And I did hear the backings of Trevor, but I wasn't sure because it wasn't mentioned exclusively that he had done backing. So I thought, maybe I just fantasize.
Yeah, on that song, you hear it the most obviously because he does like the call and response part. So you really hear it on that song, definitely.
So yeah, okay. Let's come to the interview part of this.
Oh, didn't we start? Okay, go.
Yeah, I always get questions, and I'm trying to loosely keep that structure.
Cool. I'm just going to turn off my washing machine because it's noisy.
Yes, of course. The first question is always the same. It's what brought you into music and heavy metal?
Oh wow, okay. This is gonna be a long podcast. All right. So let's go back. I could probably like I said to you, like going on like car journeys with mom and dad, they always had like Queen in the car. I think Led Zepp was on a little bit as well. But I don't think I really picked up on that at an early age. It was like the Queen song stuck in my head, and David Bowie. That was always on in the car when I was young. And then I don't know if you remember, but when Freddie Mercury passed away, there was the Freddie Mercury tribute show, which they did at Wembley, which amazing show. We recorded it on a VHS tape because it was the 90s and that's what all we had. So we recorded it, and me and my sister watched that gig like till the tape wore out. We watched it so many times, but we always skipped past the first bit until we got to like the Queen Bowie bits, and then one day decided to not skip past that, and all of a sudden heard Metallica. I was like, holy shit, what's this? And it was like they played it was 3 tunes off the Black Album. I can remember thinking, this is the heaviest thing I've ever heard. Obviously, Tim is not a Metallica fan, but at that time, in 1992, it was heavy as shit. And then Def Leppard came on, Guns N' Roses were on, Extreme were on, and it was like, right, what is this? What is this music? And that kind of set me off on just this path of discovery. Like, you know what it's like when you first get into metal, you're just like this little detective just trying to find out everything. And my dad was into, or had been into when he was younger, like your classic 70s rock. So he was listening to like Thin Lizzy, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin. So going through his record collection and finding all these records and playing them was like kind of a revelation. And then I think whenever you get into rock music or heavy metal, you're going to hear the name Iron Maiden. So one day in a shop, the No Prayer for the Dying tape cassette popped out at me, and I bought it. I'd never heard Maiden, and I just bought it based on purely the artwork alone. It was just the cover. I saw Eddie coming out of the grave, and I had to have it. And then after that, I was done. That was gone. Pure like Maiden. I had to have everything Maiden, and that just led on to everything. But I mean, like, you think like being into music now is just so much easier than it was in the 90s, because there was, again, I sound like an old fucker here, but there was no internet, there was nothing, so you just had to go and buy records and hope that they were good. So you'd buy them based on whether it was a good album cover, and usually that was a pretty good. If it had something evil and satanic on the front cover, you were okay. Not always, but usually you were okay. Or you would just buy Kerrang or Metal Hammer and just hope that the reviews were right. But now you can. It's just so much easier. Now you've got the whole world of bands at your fingertips. And so that was it. And like, once I got into those kind of bands, once I got into Maiden, that was it. I was in for life, and I've never looked back. But I'm still like a massive fan. I still love finding new bands. That's why I love Bandcamp, because there's just so many great new underground bands. You'll find like a new favourite band every week on there. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
there
it.
were a lot of good English bands this year
I
to
th-
explore.
yeah, I think recently the UK, like these bands over in the UK that you're probably talking about, I would imagine, like they would never have existed in the UK 5-10 years ago. Like the scene over here is very much, it's like a metal scene, or it's an alternative metal scene. But in terms of like traditional heavy metal, it just was never there. Kind of from the 90s onwards, it just died on its arse. But now we've got bands like Witch Hazel coming through, who I love, Seven Sisters. You've got Hell Ripper, who are from not far away from me, up in Aberdeen. Dream Troll, just really
Yeah.
quality bands that are just, but they've all got something different about them. I think like Witch Hazel sound nothing like Dream Troll. There's a lineage there, but they're very different bands. Just really original sounding. So yeah, it's a good time to be a UK metal band.
Yeah, there were a bunch of very young guys. The band was named Midnight Prophecy,
Yeah, yeah,
and they did one record on CDR, I think, and it was really cool, and there was a bunch of nice guys, but they disbanded a few months ago.
yeah. I'm pretty sure the singer is putting together a band with someone I kind of know on Instagram a little bit. I think I'm pretty sure I'm thinking of the right band. The singer's great. He does like an incredible Bruce Dickinson impression too. Really
Yes,
good singer. If I'm thinking
but
of the same guy.
but not in the usual boring copycat kind of manner.
No.
Before I started to write so much reviews like I do now, I never would have imagined that there are so many bands on this planet with vocalists that sound like Bruce. It's
Bruce or Rob, yeah, that's all you're gonna get. I think, yeah, there's probably too much of it now. I think for a vocalist, for me, I don't really need to hear another Bruce. I don't need to hear another Rob. I want to hear you. I want to hear the individual. So it's, and for me, I think from the feedback that I've had in terms of my voice is that it's different, which I think is why people like it. They're not going to hear a Bruce Dickinson kind of Rob Halford scream. It's more of a down to earth kind of a vocal style. Which, I mean, a lot of the new wave of British heavy metal bands were. Angel Witch it was a pretty it wasn't a massively over the top kind of vocal style. Witchfinder General, none of those guys really were. So yeah, I think, but you're right. That's definitely a thing. I think a lot of the European bands, or the power metal bands too, it's got to be that high register, which is great if it's done well. But just, yeah, sometimes, like you say, it's a bit of a copycat thing.
If you like the higher registers, you should try Alpha Tiger.
Okay, not familiar, but I'll check them out. I've got a list of things to check out, so I'll put them on it.
That guy, they quit after 3 records, I think, yeah, and well, he is in a new band now, and man, that dude had a most vocalists stop on a note where he had okay, I'm going higher and still higher, and it was like I saw them live, and it was like, seriously?
Yeah.
It was a bit like Steelheart. Do you know Steelheart? It's an American band, and the vocalist is also I think self-trained, and whoa, he just hits it out of the park with his voice. It's it gets really thin on the upper on the upper register of him, but there are it's quite astonishing what he does with his voice. It's almost hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when those guys did rehearsals once a week, dogs died.
Yeah.
In yourself a few kilometers or miles. It's really that guy really has an amazing voice. Yeah, Midnight Prophecy, great guys. And that was fucked up. That was fucked up in 2020. They disbanded. I was sad.
It's hard to keep a band together, man. It's a really difficult, like having keeping 5 guys together. It's not easy, It's especially when it's not really your job, when you've got day jobs to keep things going, and actually finding time to rehearse once a week is not always easy. So yeah, it's rough.
If there's no money in it, and
which there isn't,
you don't risk anything by doing it a half-assed way. It's like, okay, what am I doing? Rehearsing tonight or drinking beer at home? And I think there's downsides and upsides to the whole. We're not making big money with music anymore, but that's definitely a downside. You have to do it with passion, really.
Yeah, you have to be all in, really, like you say, because it generally, not only do you not make money from it, usually it ends up costing you money when you're rehearsing once a week. You're paying studio fees and petrol put in your car to get to the rehearsal. So it's 9 times out of 10 you end up out of pocket. You don't get paid for gigs. You're traveling like 200 miles to play a show to get paid $50. It's not a great economical decision, but yeah, it's not easy, man. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's love.
It is, yeah. It has to be.
What is your favorite song to play?
My favorite song of my own songs, or just any song?
Of your own songs.
Of my own songs. My favorite song right now. What's it going to be? It probably is Main Streets, to be honest. That's probably my favorite song on the record. I do like that one. I think it's my best vocal performance, so it's the one I can listen to the most. Because I'm kind of funny about listening to myself singing. I don't really like to listen to myself singing, but that one I can listen to. That one and Caged. I enjoy Caged as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that was also nice. That's one too. I always have to look behind you on my desk to recollect the song names, because I have my brain is like a Swiss cheese sometimes.
Oh, yeah, I still have to do that as well when I'm proofreading the artwork and everything. I still have to make sure that they're in the right order, and yeah.
Yeah, this year was yeah, I did work very hard and very much, and it's at the moment I'm doing 30 to almost 40 reviews a month, and
Yeah,
yeah, that's
you're not going to remember everything, dude.
that's a lot of songs.
Hmm.
Um, many people said Insomnia is their favorite, but
Which
I
was
was
a
thinking,
surprise, that one, to be honest. That song was thrown together. So I'll take you through the story. Like, originally the record was going to be, well, originally it was just two songs. But then when I spoke to Trevor phoned up and we had a long conversation. We decided that we would go for an EP, and I had like a couple of songs around, like lying around, that I could make into songs. So worked on the EP. So I had four songs, and then I had time because Trevor was working on Flashback at that point, so that was coming out. So he was sitting in his house with a mountain of vinyl to get rid of. So he was busy. So I wrote another song, and we spoke on the phone again. It was like, right, Trevor, I've got five songs. Do you want to do a 5-track EP? And he said, well, if you've done five, you could do eight. I was like, okay. So I hastily started writing three other songs, and Insomnia was the last one I wrote, and it was just like a throwaway riff. I wrote the lyrics in like 10 minutes, recorded it really quick too. So it was, and I think me and Trevor both kind of thought that's maybe the weakest one. So we were thinking that's the one we'll put in like the middle of the album, in the track listing. But then when Trevor was mixing it, his buddy Andy, who's the drummer from Beastmaker, he picked up on it and he was like, "Nah, this is a great song." And then that's been the feedback from a lot of people who've been really big fans of that song. So surprise, but sometimes that's it. You don't know what people are going to pick up on when you send it out there. The one that you hate might be the one that everyone loves. So but that's the cool thing. It's cool finding out what people really like, what people's favorites are.
the second song, or my second favorite song on that record is definitely the title track, Computer Warrior.
Yeah, yeah. Trevor was that. It was originally the record was going to be called Caged, but then Trevor heard Computer Warrior and he was like, "Nah, this needs to be the lead song. This is a great song." Um, so yeah, I think that was that was one of the first two I wrote. Confess and Computer Warrior were the two that I had originally. But that song I actually wrote completely on synths, and it actually sounded great as a synthwave song. But then the guitars came in. You can't really hear the synths on the final mix, but they're in there. But it was fun song to write, and yeah, it's definitely one of the better ones. Yeah, I would agree.
Normally, one of the questions I always ask is, what are your future goals as a band, as a project?
Well, at the minute it's kind of just there's momentum happening just now. I've got a bit of momentum going, so I think just capitalising on that. But in terms of what's happening right now is making sure we get the vinyl manufactured, getting all that stuff organised, all the business side of it. Once that's kind of dealt with, I've already kind of started writing for a new record anyway. So I've got probably like the germs of about four songs just ready to kind of start working on. So I think probably by early next year I'll have a new album written. So a new album probably out next year, I would think, after Computer Warriors out. And then just to keep building, just to keep going. I think we are probably going to re-record Legacy at some point. I think it's too soon to do it now. I think just for me, just for the production point of it, I would like to do it with real drums, and with a good production to get to kind of do those songs justice. A lot of people have requested that as well. So there's been a kind of a mix. I think some people would like to have it just left as it is, which I understand. I don't always like it when bands remix things or remaster things, but I think that's probably going to be something that we do down the line as well. And I don't know, I guess maybe there's been a lot of people asking about live shows as well. Will I ever do it? So that's kind of at the back of my mind now, where it wasn't before, but maybe at some point. I mean, it's going to be a while. The live situation just now is fucked anyway. No one's playing shows right now anyway, so there's no need to think about that immediately. But at some point down the line, maybe do some live shows. I don't think I would ever tour, but doing like the occasional festival here and then would be pretty cool. Going over to Europe and doing a couple of festivals in Europe, over in the UK, maybe a couple would be cool. So that's the kind of plan in general, but just to keep building on this little bit of success that's kind of happening just now, this little momentum that's going just now.
So you have a live band ready?
No, I do not have a live band ready. That's the thing. I mean, like where I live, there's not a lot of musicians at all, really, and musicians that are into kind of traditional heavy metal. There's very few. So that would be the issue. But I mean, the way technology works now, you don't have to live next to people. You can use Skype or Zoom to teach people the songs, and you can maybe book a rehearsal room somewhere in the middle of where you both live and work it out that way. So there's ways and means around it. But no, I don't have anybody in mind at the minute for that. But we'll...
Yeah. As I know, Trevor, he might find a way to to drum in your band if you tour.
That would be awesome. That would be very awesome.
Tour with Haunt. Yeah, okay. You do a tour with Haunt, and Trevor does double duty.
That's it. Well, I'm sure he's got the energy for that, man. He can do it.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah, in a great way.
At the beginning of the pandemic, I said, and after all this shit show of a year, Trevor William Church will have 3 or 4 new records, and yeah, he got three records this year. So I was right. Of course.
Yeah. He's pretty much there.
It's he's really crazy. That's some crazy kind of workaholic shit he's doing.
Just a sheer work ethic. But he and I are very similar in a lot of ways in terms of like we're a similar age, and I think I feel the kind of same as he does about we need to kind of get stuff done. We've got this feeling we need to get stuff done now. Like we're getting older. Like I'm 40 next year and he's 40 next year too. And we're just like we need to get shit out now. Like this is the time. So yeah, you don't need to sleep really. You need a little bit, but you don't need a massive amount. But yeah, he's there's like an 8-hour time difference I think between here and Fresno, and there's very very little amount of time that we're not able to be in contact because he just doesn't really sleep that much, and neither do I. So there's always kind of a window. So you always know at 5:30 in the morning in Fresno, Trev will probably be awake, writing something or singing or doing something.
Both of you will turn 40?
Yeah, man. Next year.
So I'm older than you both.
There you go. Somebody is.
I'm turning 40 this Sunday.
Dude, you don't look a day over 39.
It will be tomorrow. I will spend the evening with my brother. We will, reinfeiern, sagt man in Deutschland. It's like,
does that mean drink?
Yeah, of course. It's like we're partying into the next day. We're not partying hard because we're old. He's
it gets hard. It gets harder to party the older you get, dude. Definitely.
Yeah.
The more kids you have, the harder it gets, dude. Let me tell you what.
It's like I'm partying one day and I'm hungover 3 days.
Yeah, easy 3 days, definitely.
So if you will get to do a tour, what would be your favorite band to tour with?
Man, I did this on my Instagram yesterday. I think it was. I put up like a post. If Oath played live, who would you like me to play with? And there were some great suggestions. Haunt obviously was in there quite a lot. Visigoth was in there. Witch Hazel was in there. Dream Troll was in there. Magnesium from Japan was in there.
Never heard of him.
Yeah. Oh, you would love them. It's like so you're familiar with the Japanese Sabbath? So there's an English Sabbath and there's a Japanese Sabbath. Sabbath in Japan are very much like Venom influenced. There's 3 guys. They kind of look a bit Venomish, and they have that kind of sound. But they're really good band. But the dude who I think a dude that was in Sabbath formed Magnesium, and they're a super underground, like Nwabum influenced band. Very, very cool. I think their stuff's quite hard to find, but I'm sure some of it's on Bandcamp. But yeah, they're cool. So they were mentioned, but for me, yeah, a tour of Haunt would make the most sense. That would be awesome.
Although my idea would be Haunt and Angel Witch.
Somebody mentioned Angel Witch too, actually. Yeah,
I
I think
think
it was Haunt and Angel Witch. Yeah, that would be killer.
you three, that would be.
I think Angel Witch's last two albums actually have been mind-blowingly good, like so good for a band of their age to come back and release 2 records like that is just stunning. So good.
The last record, yeah, it was last year.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was last year, but maybe even the year before. Yeah, I think it was last year.
They had a single. One moment, they had a single, and the main riff of that single was so good, I bought it. I just bought it.
Was it the first song on the album? I think "Don't Turn Your Back." I think it's called. I know. Yeah, it was. There's killer riffs on that record.
Yeah,
Such a
Angel
good band.
And Don't Turn Your Back. It was
Yeah.
Don't Turn Your Back. That main riff.
Killer riff.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's
And
so good.
I really dig stuff like that. And the first few times I listened to it, I didn't like the vocals of Kevin Hayborn. And then a few months later, it was, hey, he sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's a unique sound he's got. It's a different sound. That's why I like it.
Yeah, that much is true, of course. He's got a very distinct voice.
Yeah, you know it's him straight away for sure.
And yeah, a few years ago, I was still kind of snobby when it came to vocals, but as I wrote more and more and more and more, I realized that perfection is boring.
Yeah. Yep. Auto-tuned, perfect vocals are shit.
Sometimes it's like, okay, this is really great, and this is touching me. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's
We all want to be touched.
Yeah. After tired comes
Stupid. Yeah.
stupid. Yeah. Albern. We say albern. Albern is not like stupid. It's like yeah, Monty Python.
Monty Python's the best. Yeah.
Of
I love
course.
Monty Python.
And yeah, I realized that that those really streamlined, perfect, overproduced vocals, yeah, mostly doesn't do that to me. It's like, okay, it's like with loop, you know, it goes in and it goes out.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah, you can appreciate the skill, but there's no heart to it.
Yeah, and because of that, I like sometimes I like singer-songwriter stuff like Glenn Hansard.
Yeah, just something that tells a story. It doesn't have to be a perfect vocal to tell the story.
Yeah, some artists in the singer-songwriter area work with the limits of the voices. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, if I sing that note, I know my voice will break, but I'm used that to sing another note, and it's fascinating. It's I don't know. Do you know Glenn Hansard?
I'm not familiar, no.
He's I think 40-ish, 50-ish, and he's a ginger, as you say, and he got an old acoustic guitar, and it's really bad up guitar. It's got holes in it, and it looks like it's 400 years old, and you should check him out. I think you will like him. I really think you will like him.
I will. I'll check him out, man.
He's got some more, yeah, music on the chilly side of music, but he's also got yeah, tragic and sad songs and really great sad songs. I'm a sucker for sad music.
Sucker for a ballad, huh?
Yeah.
A Nick Cave's fan.
So, yeah, one last question. I'm running out of ammunition. What is your favorite metal band?
Iron Maiden. Well, my favorite, like of all time, is Iron Maiden. But my kind of like, in terms of new bands, there's so many. Like in terms of modern bands, probably would have to say Haunt is my favorite in terms of new bands. And I'm not just saying that because Trev's the boss. I mean it. But there's so many now that it's hard to pick. So many great bands coming out now. But all-time favorite is, yeah, it's always going to be Maiden for me. Always.
Of course, they're the gods.
Yeah, they put up a Black Friday sale today, and I literally just spent. I just went, take my money, have it, and bought T-shirts and sweaters and shit. So, yeah, Maiden will always take my money.
There's a bunch of people on this planet that always wonder how you can spend so much money in so little time, but give me $10,000 and let me loose in a merch store.
Easy.
It's gone.
A day, you're done in a day, no problem. That or a guitar shop, easy.
Funny side note to this pandemic shit is thanks to YouTube and my girlfriend, I teach myself how to sew. And, around 40, I did my first battle vest. And
Right, yeah, this is a thing, because people who make battle vests will buy iron-on patches and they will not be ashamed of it. That's bullshit. Get your needle and thread out and sew it on. You know what's worse? People will buy pre-made battle jackets. They do.
Yeah.
That shit happens, man. I'm telling you.
I saw it. I saw the pictures. Some of them are really, yeah, okay, beautiful, but it's no.
No, you have to
cannot do
cut your
this.
fingers. You have to bleed for your battle jacket.
Yeah, you have to earn it with pain and blood.
Damn right.
It's for me it's like meditation. I'm sitting down and when I'm sewing on a patch, I'm listening to the music of that band.
Yeah.
As long as I sew that on, I have a playlist on YouTube. If it's an Iron Maiden patch, I listen to Iron Maiden till I'm finished with that patch.
Like a
And
ritual.
yeah, it's great, and I'm really at the beginning of this Corona thing, I really had problems with anxiety attacks, panic attacks. It was I knew that that I could have some because I had them years ago, and I was over the hill. It was gone for me, and this pandemic scared me really hard into having anxiety attacks again. And when I'm sewing, I'm totally calm.
Yeah, you're meditating, you're zoning out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense, dude.
The only thing that reminds me that I'm spending time doing something is that my fingers hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, that shit hurts, man. After sewing on 5 or 6 patches, you'll feel it.
My high score was 3.
3 in a row. That's not bad, man. That's pretty good.
But one time I managed to drive the blunt side of the needle into my finger, and I thought, okay, this is a really thick patch because it was an iron-on patch.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, to sew these on is fucking.
Yep.
It's horrid.
It hurts.
It's like you're trying to sew on steel.
Yep.
So that you can add patches to my merch addiction now. So there won't be any problem for me spending money in the future. That's good.
Yeah, man. Keeps everyone afloat.
Reminds me, I still have to order a patch from Oath.
I need to get some actually made. We're getting some made for the Die Hard bundle, so I'll probably get some extra ones made up as well, and we'll get them. We've had a few people asking about those too, so it's all in hand. I'm going to get it all done.
Okay, so I got no more questions left. I thank you very much for taking your time in this evening.
Anytime,
and
man.
Bearing with me and my English.
Your English is better than my German, dude, so you're doing good.
Yeah, I'm really trying.
Sounds fine to me, man. You speak better English than most people where I live, so you're doing great.
Yeah, I really realized lately that I got a pretty strong German accent, and I really hate it. But okay, that's just me.
Be proud of where you're from, man. Never be ashamed of that.
Nah, I try to not to be ashamed of my accent. There are people that are really good at speaking the th, and I'm always struggling. Your band name is really ridiculously weird to spell for me.
Yeah, oat.
Yeah, it's normally I always spelled it like O's, and yeah, now I try to spell it like Oath,
Yeah, yeah.
and I know that's wrong too.
It's kind of right, but yeah.
Maybe I should rap the whole thing. It's like OATH,
Yeah, we'll just put some little dots in it, and it could be it'd be like wasp.
like shield or
Yeah.
wasp. Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. So I'm leaving and watching Downton Abbey with my girlfriend again.
Very civilized of you, dude. Very civilized.
Yeah, we had season 1, and I'm in.
Okay, man. I'll let you go in. That's not my cup of tea at all. Fuck that. But you go and do you.
Oh, it's okay. I really expected it to be a total girly thing like Sex in the City or something like that, but it's just good drama.
I'll take your word for it.
Drama. So that's nice. I like it.
Cool.
Have a nice evening.
Okay, man. Cheers. Thanks for this. It was fun.
Yeah, see you later.
Catch you there, dude. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.